Kuzampo, and the heartiest welcome. I'm Ishe, your host, and this is Talk and Show. My guest for tonight is a co-founder of Kwe Voices of Bhutan. Please welcome Tsheten. Welcome to the show, Tashi, and a very happy Pride Month to you.
Thank you very much, La. And same to you, La.
So, Tashi, can you please introduce yourself, briefly?
My name is Tsheten. I was born and raised here in Thimphu only. Formerly I used to work with JW NRH as a lab technician. Then I moved out of there, and currently I'm one of the co-founders of Kwe Voices Bhutan and working with them right now. Yeah.
Tashi, as you would know, we are going through a pandemic right now, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that this pandemic affects the LGBT plus population more?
I think the pandemic affected everyone in a lot of ways, right? But it aggravated the situation of the LGBTI community who were coming into terms with their own sexuality. So I guess what the pandemic did is it aggravated the situation. So they had to go back. They were already in hiding, right? And trying to find ways to come out of their shell, and the pandemic put them back into their homes. Sometimes I understand that family is not the safest place to come out. So in a way, it does aggravate certain situations. I know that some of them have lost their employment, but His Majesty and the government has been kind enough to be really supportive. The Kidu has been a lifesaver for some of our communities. So in a way, it has affected a lot. But what it does for the community is that the communities are not coming forward and telling their stories. So it's like whatever I say sometimes can be anecdotal, just testaments, and we may not have proof to show. So sometimes it just becomes statements. But yes, the pandemic does aggravate the situation of the LGBTI community.
So the next segment is called True or False. In this segment, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you statements, and you have to state whether it's true or false according to you. So please take the prop.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Number one, something made me happy today.
True.
True. Tell us about it.
So I just came back from the south. I was there as on contract with ministry. So just been 3 days here, and today morning my mother made this breakfast because she knew that I was coming out. So something very hot and warm on the plate, right? Which was very welcoming.
Okay, what was it?
Yeah.
Sounds sumptuous. So I want to know.
It's Kyawatase actually. Doesn't sound very fancy, right? But it's
Kyawatase
mother's
is
love,
delicious.
right?
Kyawatase and rice.
Yeah, and especially when your mother cooks it for you, right?
Yeah. So
it was very nice.
So your breakfast made you happy. Tashi, LGBT plus population, LGBT plus community is more diverse than we think. True or false?
Yes.
Show us with the prop.
Oh.
It's true.
It's true, actually. So we all started with this term, right? The LGBTI, so which means that there are only 5 terms.
Yeah.
But gay in their own terms, have their own diverse sexuality. Some are very masculine, some are feminine, some are in between. Even lesbian, bi, transgender. Even in terms of transgender, they have trans men. Some they identify as butch. It's a very diverse spectrum.
So they have subgroups.
I think they have subgroups of identities which they identify on their own terms.
So in a way, LGBTI becomes like the umbrella term.
Actually, the queer is an umbrella term because queer, when you say queer, so it encompasses everything. But when you say gay, the definition of gay is a man attracted to another man, right? But that's just one definition. But even in terms of gay, there are a lot of classifications. Their role in the family, the society, they're very diverse, and that's what makes it beautiful about the community.
Number 3, and the final statement for the episode is, with homosexuality decriminalized by the Penal Code of Bhutan, a lot has changed in the community. True or false?
I think it's true, especially
all the true statements today. Okay, tell us about it.
I will not say that decriminalization has helped us a lot, but there are certain small things happening. I think the law being gone for now has made the community feel more belonging to this nation, right? Yeah. Previously, there were fears of repercussion, even though there were no arrests made. Legally, we had no issue, but there was fear of prosecution, right? Anytime I may go out, if people don't like me, I could get easily prosecuted for who I am, right? I did not do any criminal, but because I was born this way, I could be criminalized. Right now, it's not. I've seen and heard that young people are forming their own groups or their own support system, which in my days I did not have. forget about support system. I did not have internet to look what gay and bisexual
no
actually
resource,
went.
no stats to even,
And right now things have changed, and decriminalization has actually helped them. You see, a lot of people are coming up with their own shows. They're doing their own Insta live stories. Of course, progress takes time, and we are taking one step at a time, not rushing towards the end, because I believe that this is a journey for us to do.
Solid fundamental is important,
Yes.
right? Rather than gushing to the top. Slowly
Yes.
build it up to be strong and
Step by
durable.
step, yes.
Yeah, it's good, I think. So it's good to know, good news. Okay, that's all with true or false. The next segment, it is called Moral of the Story. So in this segment, I would like to know 2 lessons that you've learned in your life. 2 wisdoms from Tashi now. Okay.
Personally, I believe that being humble takes you a long way. So humility takes you a long way. I think a certain level of ego is required at some point, but humility,
pride, right? Pride in yourself.
Sometimes it's good to have pride, it boosts your self-confidence. But humility, being humbleness, especially with people of all walks of life, regardless whether they're tashos or there's peons, it takes you a long way, humility.
Wisdom number 2.
I would say be kind to everyone. We are all going through our own journey in life, right? No one's, and each one of us are going through certain stuff.
Everybody's fighting their own battles,
battles. Some are winning, some are losing, some are just waiting to see how things will move on. So I think kindness is a necessity, not just to other people, but to yourself. Even when you are down, you tell yourself that it's okay, you're going through this right now. You can take a step back, and then when you're ready, you can move forward. I think being kind to yourself is a fundamental thing that we need to learn, and not just for other people as well. Because if you're kind to yourself, then you move forward, right? And kindness to others comes out very naturally when you are happy with yourself.
Everything starts from home, right?
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
starts with you. Okay, 2 very wise lessons, Tashi. And the next segment, it is called Mystery Maze. It's a riddle segment. Okay, number 1. Okay, listen to this very carefully, okay? You need a very keen ear for that. If 2 is a company, 3 is a crowd, what are 4 and 5?
If
2 is a company, right? That's a saying that we have. 2 is a company, 3 is a crowd. What are 4 and 5? You get the number? 2, 3, 4, 5.
Number?
What are 4 and 5? 2 is a company. You're a smart guy. Come on.
Not really.
You are. 2 is a company, right? 2 is a company. 3 is a crowd. What are 4 and 5?
4 and 5. No, I don't. I'm sorry. 4
and 5 is 9.
Oh God.
4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, there's a lot of tricks in there. So, okay, you didn't get it. There are 3 doctors, and all of them says that Jamso is their brother. When asked to Jamso, Jamso said that he has no brothers. Who's lying now? 3 doctors says that Jamso is our brother. They're saying that Jamso is our brother. This is this guy called Jamso. And when asked to Jamso, he says that I don't have any brothers. Who's lying?
I don't think no one's lying.
Okay, how?
I think they're sisters.
Sisters, yeah, correct. Because we have this predominant belief, predominant thought, stereotypical thought. When doctors, we automatically assume that they're males, but they are like women doctors. So yeah, so they are sisters. So no one is lying. So you got that correct. That's the end of Mystery Maze. Okay, Tashi, the next segment, it is called Insights for Impact. So the chosen topic for today is gender queer. Yeah. Okay. So I think that gender queer, a lot of people, they are not familiar with this term, this particular noun. And those who do are a little confused by it, confused as in like, they don't know exactly what gender queer is. They have this rough idea. So I would like you to clarify on that, give us your insight on that. And Tashi, when you came out in 2015, I read your story. You were just feminine before, right? You were feminine, and when you came, you realized that you were gay in 2015, right? And you came out as gay in 2015, and now you identify as genderqueer, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to know your story.
Actually, queer is an umbrella term, right? So it encompasses a lot of identities within that.
Okay.
So in the West, it used to be used as a political statement. So no one would go that no one will say it's a LGBTI issue, gay issue, bi issue, trans issue. They will say it's a queer issue, so which is a very collective form. So that makes a statement in the West. For us, it's an identity, which means that it gives us the space to grow. So when I say I'm genderqueer,
Genderqueer.
what I mean to say is that I don't identify 100% as a man, because there are certain features which I find feminine, and I'm very comfortable with that. You're born with a biological female gender, right? So, and you're very comfortable with it, so you are a cisgender woman. So I used to identify myself as a cisgender man, so I was very comfortable with my the gender I was born with, the sex assigned at birth. I still am, but I strongly don't identify with the gender men, the men gender, right? So I identify in between. So it can be confusing for some people.
Yeah.
When I say I'm a genderqueer, I mean what I feel is that I'm very comfortable with both the genders. I don't go to the extreme feminine side, but I go in between these genders, which is fun sometimes. You get to experiment with a lot of stuff, right? Queer is an identity, by the way. It gives you space to grow a lot.
Yeah.
So which means that I will not be fixated on one identity.
Yeah.
So
I
over
understand what
time,
you're
when I
saying.
realize myself, and when I realize myself, I will grow more. I will not be stuck in one space.
Like you can develop into a truer version of yourself,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
It gives that space to grow, actually.
Now tell us your story, Tashi. Your journey.
By default, I was straight, right? And I guess everyone is. We get this label, everyone is straight. So by default, I was straight. Then I thought I was bisexual because I had attraction to female as well as male. Initially, thought I was straight because we used to get teased around in schools. You know, boys were teased with girls, would get teased with boys. So that was the initial thought we all had. So when I was in 8th grade, I realized that I had attraction towards men.
So that was your first attraction.
Yes,
That's when you discovered.
But I was also very feminine back then. I used to get bullied a lot. I would not go to toilet with the boys because I was feminine, but I had friends who were more feminine, and I would see them getting bullied a lot. My friends would lock them up in toilets, and I knew that if I went to the toilet, the same thing would happen to me. So I got away very easily, but still bullying happened regardless. You know, people would call me this derogatory names when they were traveling in bus, right, when I was walking home school. So not quite bad experiences at school.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also very reserved. I don't open up easily. So that's a personality that I develop over time. But yeah, and because of that, I also had to hide my own self, right? I focus more on education and other stuffs, and frankly, I never explored my sexuality. I knew this was happening, but I saw that because of whatever I'm feeling or whatever I'm expressing, I might get beaten up at some point in life, right? So I suppressed it a lot.
The things that you have suppressed, are they still suppressed or are they out now?
I'm still discovering myself. I was supposed to do that way back then. The time I'm having right now is not the time to discover my true self. Right? When I was growing up, I was supposed to identify myself, find my space to grow my true identity, right? And that was the time to do it. And after class 10, I studied in Motithang, 11, 12. I didn't expect the environment to change, right? It's because till 10th grade, I was bullied, harassed for. Even girls would join the bandwagon.
Oh God, girls would bully you.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
were really interested to see what genitalia I had.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah, and I had this teacher who would say, go in a corner and show them your genital.
Why would you do that? Who's that teacher?
Yeah, but then again, it was not their fault. I would
It's their
that
fault. I mean, teachers should know better, no?
Yeah,
Actually,
but
they're
I
adults.
guess the situation is such that they're even not sensitized in a way to talk about these issues, right? Even I didn't understand myself. How would they understand?
They're not educated enough on that particular issue, right?
But then I survived and I moved on, right? Which was the better part.
To you.
Better part for us, everyone. So in 11, 12, I realized a lot of stuff, not my sexuality, but my friends were really nice. The class 11, 12, I studied science team. We still have a group called 12 Science A. They were one of the most friendliest people I got.
Very
I did not
enabling
expect.
for you?
Yeah, very enabling for me. Not just in terms of my sexuality. They were very welcoming, very open-minded. I don't know how it happened, which was very surprising for
science. We study, science. We study
Yeah.
a lot biology. So
I developed good relations with my friends, and I had very good friends who I keep in touch with right now. That changed a lot, and it boosted my self-confidence to a quite to a better phase, I would say. So really grateful for them for having that environment. After that, I went to RHS, studied laboratory technology. 2 years I was in that college. I dated a girl actually.
Oh yeah, there.
Yeah, I feel really bad for her. When we dated, I realized that I had no attraction towards her, and we broke up after a month. I wrote a very long letter to her. I was which was very bad on my part. I feel so guilty for that.
You were confused, I suppose, right?
Yeah,
back then, a little confused.
We as people, we do experimentation, right? And I guess my experimentation hurt my friend.
It's okay as long as you didn't have mean intentions. If you had cruel intentions, then there's something. But I suppose you didn't have that, right?
No.
So
then
that's okay. You're just human.
Yeah, and at end of 2014, I joined service, as a laboratory technician. I stayed there till 2019, 5 years in service with the hospital. At that time, I also met my current partner. They were doing this HIV advocacy work in the middle of forest. Can you imagine? They were so fearful that other people would see them. They would stigmatize them. That they were having this very secretive. I don't know. This sounds very wrong, but a very secretive meeting in a very remote place.
Not wrong. I think they're taking precaution.
Yeah,
that's the correct term. Like being cautious.
Yeah. They were very precautious. Then one of my friends invited.
That was in 2015, right?
I think it was 2014.
14. Okay.
Yeah. So they invited me.
So back then, LGBT was not loud. People didn't know about LGBT.
No, they saw transgender people, right? Because back then, Deshin Sultan and Sancho were out and they were talking about their issues. I know one gay man also came out on PBS. So
Pasang Duji, right?
Yeah, but it did not give much an traction. So we were still learning. So I started from there. It was a very enabling environment actually. They were making friends. They were actually people who I could connect to on a very, in terms of my own sexuality and gender, right? So that's where the whole volunteering thing started way back in 2014, 15, 16, and we did this a lot of advocacy campaign, and yeah, all this stuff happened. And we have decriminalization right now, right? And starting last year, I started doing Queer Voices of Bhutan. We are not an organization. We are not a CSO. We are not a group of LGBT people, but we are 2 or 3 friends who are trying to build in advocacy materials, putting our resources on internet, so that other people who are coming out, who want to do a lot of reference, even for allies who want to help other people, can look up to our resources and help people. So we are a social media platform, not necessarily a group or a physical entity. That's where also I realized that I was queer, which means so I was gay. After 2014, I was gay, right? Then I started dating my partner. He's actually gender non-binary, so he fluctuates between genders. So he's very comfortable with being a man, and he's also very comfortable with being very feminine. So he would.
Is that fluid?
That's gender fluid actually, or non-binary. So we don't really stick to this conventional form of
they,
men.
Right? That's the pronoun they like to use. It's not he or she. That's they.
My partner actually prefers all the pronouns he, she, they. I prefer he, him, and they.
Okay.
So
they is what comprises of they in your case.
It's just a pronoun that I am very comfortable with.
Okay.
So it's just a pronoun that I use. So it's not necessarily, I don't really identify with the pronoun, but that's something it's okay for me to use.
Okay. It comforts you in a way. They is comforting for you. Okay.
It's better than those words that I used to hear back in preschools.
Yeah, kids can be mean, I know.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you had to
I
go
think
through
they
that.
still are. I hear stories
Yeah.
sometimes, but at the same time, there are stories, very positive stories coming out.
Mm.
So, like you say, we live in a very
Yeah.
we live
Nothing
in
is absolute. No?
yeah. So
There's dark and light and light and dark.
so it's same for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so with homosexuality decriminalized, how do you feel personally? How did you feel when it was announced, and how do you feel currently?
Um, it was a quite a nervous wreck, right? So to be if you go long back, it started in 2019, right? Then it got back to NC, then it came back to NA. Then they were quarreling over these two sections. Both the houses had good intentions; they wanted best for everyone, but ended up arguing over certain terms and terminologies. But thankfully, in December 2020, they came with a very good version of the clause which decriminalized homosexuality. So I guess it was a very nervous journey for the last 2 years.
Kind of a roller coaster ride,
Yeah,
right?
we had this. I would get this feeling sometimes it would go wrong, sometimes it may
Mm.
get right. What would happen to us, the community? Frankly, I would survive, right? The law, whether it was there or not,
Yeah.
because I had built up this courage, built up this
Yeah.
knowledge, the skills to combat this kind of homophobia or any kind of stigma that comes at me. But I feel bad for those people who are still in the
Yeah.
closet,
Still tender, right?
who are still coming into terms with their sexuality, and they get to know that Bhutan criminalizes their sexuality.
I suppose, yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
a lot of people would not know, right?
They don't. They still fear. Some of them they still fear.
Mm.
And back when I was working or volunteer with Rainbow Bhutan, now they're called Pride Bhutan, we used to have those friends. People would refuse to associate with us because we were out in the open, right? We were talking
Yeah.
about issues. We were doing advocacy, raising voices. But at some point, they thought that we were outing them out to other people, which was
Mm.
not something that we were doing. So I guess not everyone will associate with us. Not everyone will associate with the community or the group that we have right now. I think they will find their own spaces. They will find their own platforms to talk about their own issues and find a comfort in their spaces,
Yeah.
which is something that I guess we must respect for
Yeah,
everyone.
on their own terms, like you
Yeah.
said.
And in terms of coming out, I never really came out to everyone, right? Because I was have featured in these articles, and people automatically assume that I have come out. But technically I've never come out until now, until today, and told
Okay.
everyone that
So
I'm
are you
queer.
saying that you are coming out on the show?
I think I am.
That's nice.
People
I'm
generally
glad.
assume that I'm a part of the community, but they would not come up front and ask me. I guess that would. I think they have privacy. They
Mm.
respect my privacy and the need for me to tell. I had this friend in my high school. He knows that I was gay and I'm genderqueer right now, and he told one of my friends who knows my sexuality that whenever Tashi feels right, he will come out, and it's not my space to ask him, are you coming out or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Which was something very beautiful, he said.
Yeah.
I wish everyone were like that.
We wish everything is perfect and good, right?
Yeah,
but it's
but-
not. Sometimes we have hurricanes, sometimes we have tornadoes, and you have to deal with that. You have to,
Yeah,
look forward to the sunshine and the beautiful weather, whatever, right? So that's life. But
yeah, it is.
No, but anyhow, you had a very, turbulent journey in your own way,
Mm.
and you had your battles, you fought them well, you came out a victor, so bravo to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what do you hope in future for the community,
Uh,
for queer people?
I guess everyone wants a very safe space to grow, to be themselves, right? If I talk about transgender people, especially transgender women, they want a space or an education setting where they can identify with themselves, or maybe if they feel like they're a woman, they can wear kira and go to school, and they want to continue that education. They want an environment where they can thrive, right?
Yeah, and employment as well,
Oh,
because
and
I suppose a
employment.
lot of people, a lot of LGBT plus population, they're stuck in, hospitality and service sectors,
Yeah.
mainly because of the dress code, I suppose.
Especially for transgender people, yes.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
lesbian and gays and other identities who can pass on, right? They can.
For transgender,
Oh.
I meant transgender.
They are very,
because they want to
easy.
wear cool. Trans women, they want to wear kira. Trans men,
Yeah.
they want to wear cool. But then, most of the, not all the institutions, not all the employment, employees
Yeah.
like that.
Even
so.
for hospitality and entertainment industry, why they opt for is because of the education qualification, right? When they were growing up, they were not allowed to be
Yeah.
themselves and they had to drop out,
Yeah.
which I think still happens
Mm.
at some point. These are stories that we hear because we are a community, right? It's a very
Yeah.
small knit community. We hear stories,
Yeah.
people being harassed, people dropping out of schools, and sometimes my friends would go and intervene and force them to go back to study. I have friends who have not transitioned yet because they fear that they would face stigma and discrimination at workplace, and they would lose their job. Sometimes they fear. It's all about the money, right? Economy. You have to survive in this world, and sometimes being true to yourself does not get you paid anywhere.
Yeah, true.
So it's all about survival, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and when you're, who you are, your true self interferes with that, again, it poses a tricky question, right?
Yeah, and it's not just the workplace, right? You have to start all over again, the family, the friends, the relative, the workplace, and no one knows, right, how will that go. And I just wish that we all have this very safe space. I will not say very, but safe spaces in a very small way.
Right?
Yeah, enabling.
At least that enables you, it doesn't
Yeah.
disable you.
Exactly. Even if you're not enabling, it's someone you can listen and adapt and change. That's better for everyone.
Little empathy, maybe.
Buddhist people are very empathetic. It's just that some with homophobia and sometimes stigma that we face is because they don't really understand, right? And they are very empathetic. That's how changes like this happen
We have
over
this
time.
fear of unknown, so
Yeah.
maybe that, yeah.
Compared to other people in the region as well, where there is a death penalty for being gay, right? Our Buddhist people are very tolerant, very empathetic. They change over time with compassion and a set of advocacy that we do. That's why I was telling them, be humble, be humble, get your point across, and they will listen and come back to you. That's how change happens over time.
Okay, Tashi, let's hope for a better future for the community, right? So all the best to you and more power to you. I am proud of you for, coming out a victor. You are a victor. You have to, acknowledge that as well.
Thank you very much.
So I would like to know 2 fun facts about Tashis Tsheten.
I tend to forget a lot.
You're forgetful.
I'll not say that's a very fun fact, but I used to have these traumas, right? Because growing up was a very traumatic experience for me. But so anything that affects me, I would block.
Okay.
So
coping mechanism.
I don't do it knowingly. So my brain does this. I don't know.
You have a superpower. Your brain wants to filter everything that hurts you.
Yeah,
okay,
in a
this
way.
Is hurting Tashi. I'm going to block it out so that it doesn't,
in a way, it does block. It's a memory blocker, or anything that affects me, anything that harms me, or a memory that haunts me, it will get automatically blocked. So
I wish I had that too. That's really, how would I put it? That's very comforting. I wish my brain would do that too.
Yeah, I have this problem with memory. I don't remember exactly.
But the good ones, you.
Yeah, I retain those.
Nice.
So this preschool years from class 2 to class 4 or 5, I don't actually have a memory of what happened back then. I'm pretty sure there was something traumatic. I remember very bits and pieces.
Vaguely,
Vaguely, yeah.
So you think that your eraser, the eraser in your head wiped out, the traumas, most of the traumas?
I think it did. Last year, I was going through a very difficult time. So I actually did not come out of my home. I slept for 2 months.
Slept for 2 months?
Yeah,
Oh my God,
I was eating, sleeping. That was also during the pandemic. So
lockdown time.
It was not because of the pandemic, but something affected me. But right now, I don't know what affected me. So it's keeping me calm. So I don't know the source what happened to me. So that's why I'm calmer right now. So it's.
You're lucky in a way.
In a way, yes.
You know that that happened. There was a rough patch. There was a steep climb, but. Okay, there was a steep climb, but I don't remember how difficult it was.
Yeah, and frankly, it does not trigger me a lot.
Yeah,
which is
lucky. You are lucky in a way, and you get to keep all the beautiful ones. You just check out the ugly
So in a way, I don't hold grudges with people or anyone. So I can think that's better.
Yeah, better relationship with people. So
yeah, exactly.
Good for you. Second fun fact?
Not really fun, but I think I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Very selective, not all the time.
Okay.
So whenever I have those OCDs, I would start cleaning, especially toilets. You have this very tile full of toilets, right?
Yeah.
And I have white tiles at home, the bathroom. So I would take a toothbrush and would scrub the corners. I would take me 3-4 hours. The bigger brushes are hard to reach, clean those areas. And it calms me down actually, it helps. And I would vacuum the room, clean, dust.
Cleaning is therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, it helps me a lot. And music also helps. You put on your earphone and you start cleaning.
You get your toothbrush and then you...
I had a friend who tell me when you are stressed out so that I can call you and clean this home.
Okay, Tashi, let's be friends, okay? When you get stressed out, call me, give me a call. I won't let you clean my toilet. I'll let you clean my kitchen and living room maybe.
Some kind words from me would be kind to everyone, not, and it starts from you. Everyone's going through something. We all don't have the same trajectory in life. So be kind to yourself first and then to your friends and your surrounding. And to all those who are celebrating Pride, happy Pride Month.
Thank you for being on the show, Tashi. I had fun. That's all we have for now. Thank you for making me a part of your day and I'll see you soon. Till then, take care and be positive. Goodbye for now.